G'day, we're David and Paula. Like many people, we've been working hard for many years and we're too young to retire, but we've decided to take a gap year from work. We've bought a new van and we're doing a lap right around Australia. Hey, g'day. So this is the Hillsgate Roadhouse, and we weren't going to stay here originally, but we didn't get here early enough to push through to Leichhardt Falls, which is sort of one of our planned free camps. So we decided to stay here, and it's good. But it was just a pleasant stop after the last couple of days of sort of heavily corrugated and rough road. As one of the locals said, yep, the road on the other side of the border is so, you know, no mucking around. I'm going to air up, so we've got a little bit of gravel road to go down. The locals tell me that the gravel road is high quality and as good as the bitumen, so it's time to air back up now, and we'll head across. We'll stick our head into Leichhardt Falls, and again, the locals tell us that's worth sticking our head into. We might even stay there and we'll see how we go. We'll keep making our way across. We've got to get to Mareeba by Friday, 5 days time.
So this is Hillsgate's Roadhouse. It's the back of it where you go and spend the night if you want to spend the night here. It's been quite good actually, nice and safe. Nice showers and toilet. David's gone to refuel at an exorbitant amount, but that's what you've got to do when you're here. There's Hilton, nice green grass. It's very pleasant, it's a little oasis. The car and the caravan are doing okay.
This is just absolutely insane. Wow, look at this. It's so we've gone gravel again, and we'll go to bitumen soon, so I think about 12 or 13k up the road from the Roadhouse. But the guys at the Roadhouse sort of said, no, you'll be fine to air back up here even with that gravel. He said the road crews are working on it. He said it's as good as the bitumen. It's like a highway.
It's like a highway.
It's like a highway. This is brilliant. I'd be happy if it was like this all the way. These roads copped a battering, absolute battering last wet season, so you can just tell.
Yeah.
He said don't go down, as we go down onto the rocks or something apparently.
Oh, there's lots of people.
Yeah.
Road track.
Did it just turn down here, you reckon?
Yeah, that's Burke and Wills.
So right on the edge of the water, and it's just above that.
Say my name.
Come on in, the water's fine. It's good in here. Where are the crocodiles?
Down the other end.
Down over the falls.
Yeah.
Is it new to them?
Yeah, no. It feels cold.
Yeah, I hope so. Well, that's Leichhardt Falls.
It was a good stop, wasn't it?
Oh, it's a good stop. Yeah, and I went for a nice walk this morning as well. But absolutely brilliant here. Yeah, so this is the causeway. We had to rush to get out this morning. We were going to take some footage of us getting in and out of that camp, but a few people came in and were trying to select good spots, and were cutting off the avenues across the rocks. Yeah, but it's actually remarkably pretty in here. Lots of birds. New best free camp. What do you reckon?
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Yes. Off to Normanton now, and I understand that we've got some gravel road, but they tell me it's good gravel road. So on advice from the locals, we haven't aired down here. They said that the gravel road is good. Right, so we've got about 2 hours.
Good.
To get to Normanton. We're only going to stop quickly at Normanton. We might pick up some milk and a few things like that there. And then we're going to head around to Karumba. River. We're not too far from Normanton now. And this is one of the Burke and Wills camps.
Yeah, 119.
Camp 119. And at first we read the sign and it said Burke and Wills Camp 119. We're thinking, 119 kilometres, that's further than we thought. Then we realised, no, it was Camp 119, and it was only 2 kilometres away. So I thought, well, that's so much better. There you go. So it's the most northerly camp. I'm not going to read the sign to you. So I was saying it was a wet season camp. It wouldn't have been
pleasant. Very
pleasant at all.
So is this where the tree's carved? No.
I think the tree's gone. What happened to the Grey and King's tree? They're gone or dying. Steel markers now indicate where some stood.
Oh, okay.
That's sad, isn't it? Of a big lofty idea, isn't it? But people who just weren't prepared for the conditions.
Sure is. It is sad too.
Again, we won't cover the story. Most Australians should know the story of Burke and Wills and the attempt to go from bottom to top. And for our overseas followers, just look it up, Burke and Wills expedition in Australia. And it's just a pretty tragic story, and the elements beat them, and there was only one survivor in the end. So both Burke and Wills died. And King survived with the help of local indigenous people. So Kings have been worn away. Yeah. What they say, there was 12 of them.
This is number 12.
Yeah. Can you just imagine how isolated they must have felt?
It feels isolated, and
we've just got the car and the van just up the road,
yeah,
ready to head to Normanton, and it's become one of the folklore stories of a folly in many respects.
Well, it's part of our history, isn't it, really?
Yeah, it's exactly. And even Leichhardt, who was a lot more prepared, who did a lot of the and Leichhardt Falls, where we were this morning and last night, very well prepared expeditions, and he disappeared too in the end, never to be seen again. So.
Yeah, and the warning that's on that board about if someone's over on the side of the road, make sure you stop and see if they're okay.
Yeah, it's something we do, isn't it?
The rules of the bush.
Yeah.
It's really important.
Yeah, it's definitely something we do. Not everyone does it.
No.
Most people would slow down so that you can sort of indicate, like we've pulled over to take photos or to air up and air down, and people have slowed down and we've given them the thumbs up to tell them we're okay. But then some people just go tearing past, don't they?
Yeah.
All right, well, let's head back, get ourselves into Normanton, get our cold drink, something to eat, maybe.
Yep.
And then after that, fill up. We better fill up with some fuel.
Yep.
Better get some fresh milk before
Another
we got some milk,
disaster
which is
befalls us.
before another disaster.
Yeah.
Well, we've actually got fresh milk, and it's supposed to be within date, but it's just got that slight sweetish tinge coming out telling us, yeah, no. This is Karumba. Oh, look at those big stony bush curlews. Where are we?
Karumba.
Karumba and Karumba Point. We're heading down to see the sunset from the Sunset Bar.
Yep.
Have some beers and some barra, or some seafood or something like that. There's a coffee.
Nice.
Hey, g'day. So as we were coming out of Normanton, you'd notice that all the signs for the Matilda Way. So it's a junction between Matilda Way and the Savannah Way, and Matilda Way north-south. And you'll remember from our series when we did the Western Queensland trip, we spent a fair bit of time on the Matilda Way. So we only went as far as Winton, if you remember, or if you saw those videos. But it goes pretty much all the way up. Well, it does go all the way up to Normanton. Been on the Savannah Way pretty much since Catherine, I suppose. Catherine, Daly Waters, across Borroloola, Hells Gate. So it's one of those sort of classic drives. Some of it's been horrendous, but this bit, essentially the bit from Burketown is pretty much sealed, although they've taken a pounding, the roads out near Burketown from the big wet that they had. So we thought we'd drop into Karumba. I've been there a few times, been to Normanton a couple of times previously, but Paul hadn't been up there, so we thought we'd go up and show Paul at the Sunset Tavern.
And it was only, what, 1.4 kilometres walk from where we stayed, so it was a good walk. So we got a good walk there and a good walk back, which is needed because we ate so much.
And a couple of beers, and yes.
Yes, sunset was good though. It's a nice full sunset.
It's too short to just sort of really just do it for one night like we did. But we were coming past Normanton anyway, so we thought that was a good place to stop and do that, and we'll keep heading across towards Mareeba and then up to the Cape. But if you come this way, you should stop in at Normanton and have a look. It was a major port. It was sort of, for goods in and out at Normanton, and that's sort of where the home of the sort of the major Burns Philp company was, which at one stage was the biggest or one of the biggest companies in Australia. Normanton sort of fell out of favour as a port, very tidal. A lot of crocs up around that area as well. That's not why it fell out of favour, of course, but there just happens to be. And the same around Karumba. And if you and go out to Karumba, experience the sunset over the water. It's one of the few places in Queensland that you'll see a sunset over the water. Western side of the Cape, of course, and across the Gulf of Carpentaria. So we've got a couple of days driving across to Mareeba. We've got a couple of running repairs to do. We've picked up a couple more stone chips, just the things that you've got to do when you're driving around the country. So we've already repaired one on the screen, got another one I've got to repair, but we'll check it out. Don't even know. Looking to see if we can find somewhere to get a picture of the Golflander.
Life is a winding road, no telling where it goes. driving through days and nights, won't stop for traffic lights. And I really wanna know, if I will ever figure out where the road goes.
It's been a long day, so we're sort of driven, we're heading almost into Georgetown, and we just stopped in at the Cumberland chimney, the site of the old Cumberland mine, which is sort of a bit of a boom bust type sort of story, and there's also like a bird sanctuary, sort of bird watching sort of dam area there. But it's also not a free camp, but a donation camp. So we thought we'd stick our head in just to see whether it was worth. Just looked just a bit dusty, and yeah, it's a warm day, and no shade and anything like that. So we thought we'd just move on, and that's sort of what we do with the free camps and those sorts of options. We just sort of look at them, and if it takes your fancy, you stop. You know, if you're just too tired, you stop. If it doesn't take your fancy, then you keep moving on.
Even if I'm falling down, I will keep on searching for my highs. You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head.
Morning. Sun coming up, it won't take too long to warm up though. Morning.
Morning.
We're at a gravel pit behind what they call the Everley Rest Area, which isn't much of a formalised rest area. It's just at the edge of a property boundary on the Golf Development Road, which sort of goes across from Normanton to Croydon, Georgetown, and then heads to the to Mount Surprise and the Atherton Tableland before dropping down to Cairns. And quite like these gravel pits. I mean, they're nothing special. If it's windy, it's terrible. They can get all dusty, but they're just really good spots. Sometimes just to pull in late in the day. Lots of open area, and this one's huge. So there was probably, I don't know, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, there's probably 5 of us. We put in a reasonably big day yesterday, 4.5, 5 hours driving, and it's a bit hard to explain. I mean, those of you who tow know, but it does get tiring, and I know that some people sort of like to do the heroics about the big days they put in, but you get weary, or I get weary anyway. You'll see on a number of vlogs to do with caravanning, people who sort of talk about the preference of doing only 100 or 200 kilometres when they move. When you put in a day of over 400 kilometres like we did yesterday, and we've done some big days when we were catching up over in Western Australia, it absolutely knackers you. But today we've got about 3 hours, which is about the limit of what I would normally like. We'll get ourselves into Mareeba and do a little bit of admin there for a couple of days and get ourselves ready, and then head up to the Cape. One of the things about corrugations, if you have a look at the my cup, no matter how much you pack in, some of these things they just scratch, and these are unbreakable, so that they don't break. But you can see that it just scratches the enamel off. Invariably, where there's one surface on another, something just gets that little bit worn from that constant vibration, and it takes a toll on your body too.
This is our overnight stop. Not been too bad actually.
There's not much room to move at this part of the road on the Atherton Tableland. So we're in the Atherton Tableland now, not far from Atherton itself, and then it's only a little bit further beyond that to where we're staying for the night, just short of Mareeba. But the road narrows off, and you've got this sort of more tropical rainforest sort of forest around you. But a couple of the spots in there are a bit dodged, very narrow. The edges of the road sort of crumbling away a little bit, making it narrower again, and a bit tight for passing traffic, especially when you're towing your van. Anyway, not too much longer before we get through here. The other thing that we've sort of noticed is lots of cloud. So we're even wondering whether we might even get some rain here. So we haven't seen this sort of terrain and that sort of overcast conditions for a long time. But there's some...
G'day, we're in Mareeba. Hello. Nice way to spend an afternoon. It's not mine, it's yours.
Something special.
Yeah, I have, haven't I? Isn't it cute? Ooh, it smells like pudding.
Hey, g'day.
G'day, g'day.
We're trying a new microphone today, so we hope it works. But we think every now and then the little fluffy thing's going to get in the way of the shot, so which is not good. So we're at Mareeba, and we're heading to the Cape.
What did you think of the stop we've just had?
Paula's interviewing me now.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Proceed to the route.
This is the executive producer.
In 1.2 kilometres, turn left onto Hanson Road.
Yeah, that was the Mount Uncle Distillery, and it was a bit of a surprise package. We got put onto it by some people that we stayed near at Leichhardt Falls. When we were crossing across the top, and they suggested we try. We hadn't booked anywhere, Mareeba, and we were just looking for a free camp. There's no free camps right in Mareeba, so we thought we'd have a couple of nights, and we came in at the Mount Uncle Distillery, and they've got just a little campground, little RV stop at the back, and it's good. Power water, or you can do it unpowered. And they've got some facilities, and it's nice. And Bruce is very friendly, and he owns all this property around. So his son has started up the Mount Uncle Distillery, so a good place to camp. They had gin, whiskey. They had a whiskey. They have some tequila, and so you can see where they're growing the agave sort of cactus for the sorry, they can't call it tequila, it's agave spirit. They can only call it tequila if it's made in Mexico. So we ended up spending an extra day here. We needed it. We just needed to do some checks, fill up. I needed to change some gas. So we thought, well, we're going to do some editing as well. We went into the Mareeba Multicultural Festival, which was good, friendly, good little.
That was really good fun.
Yeah. It was good fun, and they had some groups doing some entertainment, some traditional dance, lots of different foods. But anyway, look, it was a good stop. The other thing with this stop is if you've got some kids, there's some animals around, so they've got
lots of animals.
Yeah, peacocks. You can hear the kookaburras around. You see a couple of roos bouncing around. Goats, geese. What else? Ducks.
I saw a turkey this morning.
Yeah, there's a turkey in there. Alpaca.
Lots of peacocks.
Donkeys. Yeah, look, you name it. You hear them in the morning, in the evening, through the night. But look, a very pleasant place to stay. It's small. Good compact sort of little area. You're not right on top of each other, but at the end of the day, it's somewhere between a campground and a van park, but without that completely packed in van park feel, and with a distillery on the doorstep. So we've enjoyed that, and we've now got a long day ahead of us to head up to the base of the Cape. Again, thanks for joining us. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and remember, 100% of our YouTube advertising revenue goes to charity.